This video app review is brought to you by the iPhone appreview.com.
What's up, everybody? This is Luke Patrick with the iPhone appreview.com. Today we're looking at yet another application via video review, this time one called Leo Privacy Guard that's available for free in the iTunes App Store. I have it loaded up right here, and we are ready to get rolling with it. Essentially, the application provides an ideal way to secure your iPhone, namely its content, as well as a few other things about your device, and we'll cover those in just a bit. But yeah, essentially it's going to give you an all-in-one utility to kind of just bump you along as far as locking down some of your private sensitive materials and ensuring that you have a more pleasant security experience within the device itself. We'll talk about this more in just a second, but you can see it's chock full of beautiful animations and just absolutely stunning ease of use. Beginning with this big fat button that's loaded up right here when you first boot up the application. I have, of course, played with this app quite a bit outside of this basically fresh install. We've also looked at the Android version of this app, and we'll talk more about that in just a bit. Though this is a fresh install, I'm just doing this to kind of show you guys how it works. So basically, hit the big fat button. It will come up with this, and will kind of guide you through the various aspects of the application that it offers. So for instance, one of the chief things that it provides is the ability to hide images and video. So you can do this just by clicking, and then you can add photos to your private album, and then the private album is of course locked via security code. So let's say that I want to get into my safe, which is where all this stuff is saved, or at least my data points. Just to kind of give an example, I'll lock my phone, potentially. Okay. I don't know why I did that. I mean, it's not like you can actually enter my passcode from afar. But anyway, here we are on the Touch ID, and then hopefully it works. It did not, because my thumbprint is kind of sketchy. There we go. And there we go. Now I'm into my safe. So that kind of gives you a very basic indication of where we're going with all this. I've used a passcode / my thumb to actually open up my safe, and then in here I can keep things like bank cards. I can add this one. You can actually do this via the camera itself, which is pretty cool. You can snap a photo of a card, and then it will log a lot of the information, so that's pretty handy. Login information, membership cards, that sort of thing. That's not all that's in here. So again, you can hide photos within private albums using the same kind of mechanic. So you shove something into a private album, you can pull it out using your passcode, which you do set yourself, or your thumbprint. So for instance, if I want to change my passcode, this is what it looks like. You boot in here, you can change any old thing. Let's do 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then you can also turn on Touch ID if you want, which I find quite handy, and then also set a secret question. This is in case you forget some of the other things or can't access via Touch ID. You can enter this here. Very handy stuff, super simple to set up, not a problem at all. Within the big fat button, there are other things like data access. Let's talk about that more in just a second. Within location services, you can kind of edit the location, the location services that are active, and what's being used there. Likewise, you can do background app refresh, or stability examination, vulnerability detection. These are kind of just basic things that will tell you what's going on with your phone. But primarily the application is concerned with saving your content, so we're going to mostly focus on these aspects here. So you've got images and videos, adding those kind of text data points that we talked about, these right here. And then the other aspect that's worth mentioning, data excess warnings. Using the app, you can actually track your phone's data usage itself, which is extremely useful in the sense that if you have a limited data plan and you want to make sure that you stay within your limit, you can use this to do exactly that. You can track all of the data that's used down to a pretty finite detail. It knows a lot about your phone, so you can get more information there if you need to. Outside of that, you can track battery power, which we have listed at the bottom here. And kind of a fun little animation with the water. That's pretty neat. And this does provide you pretty detailed breakdowns of what's left too. So I've got 20 hours and 36 minutes of music, which is pretty solid. 5 hours of phone calls, etc. Really handy stuff. And basically this kind of harkens back to the same thing that we talked about when we talked about the Leo Privacy Guard Android version. And that is that outside of just offering or attempting to offer basic, security functionality as far as keeping your photos safe, that sort of thing. It also tries to make sure that your experience itself across the entire device and every single part of your user experience is secured. So, by way of monitoring your phone, you can make sure that you don't go over the data limits that are set for your plan. You can make sure that you're not overusing the battery usage, that sort of thing. And that's pretty much where it ends for this version of the app. It's worth mentioning that the Android version actually has a lot more in terms of being able to access deeper parts of your phone, so making fake calls. It can kind of speed up your RAM usage, that sort of thing. But they did do the best that they can with what Apple provides, and that's what matters. Furthermore, the application itself is absolutely gorgeous. It's a beautiful application. I mean, just look at it. It does everything that we would expect it to do on the iPhone. It keeps all of our information secure, and we have no real problems with it, especially considering it has a free price tag, which is definitely worth it for just about any user. So if you're even vaguely worried about your privacy and you want to kind of dive into something that's beautiful, very simple to navigate, and it's totally free, then we can't recommend anything over Leo Privacy Guard. It's a fantastic application, and because of that, we are going to give it a 5 out of 5 star rating from us here at the iPhoneAppReview.com. And that's about all I have to say about it. I've been Luke Patrick. You guys have been great, and we will see you guys later. All right. Thank you.